What's up, Buttercups? Welcome to my channel where I encourage others in Jesus. So I was in prayer earlier and I actually saw two visions. In my first vision, I saw a caterpillar slowly crawling into a cocoon stage, and this white cocoon encompassed this caterpillar. And later on, it emerged as a beautiful butterfly. And then in my second vision, I saw a bear heading to this dark cave to hibernate for the winter. So stay tuned so I can reveal the hidden meaning of this message. So when I was in prayer, I actually saw two visions, the butterfly and the bear. And when I asked God to reveal the deeper meaning of these visions, it came out on paper more eloquent than I could ever explain in person or by myself. So I'm actually going to read the message today instead of just speaking about it. So again, this message may not resonate for everybody. It is just for a select few of the chosen ones that are going through a certain situation right now, but I just felt it on my heart to go ahead and share this message. So here it is. The caterpillar going into the cocoon and the bear hibernating showed me that for some, it is a time for isolation. I felt great resistance when I heard the word isolation, because to me, isolation represents loneliness, and you not thinking that you can do something alone, or you not wanting to do things alone. You actually want to have support there. But what God revealed to me was that it is a time of recalibrating. It's almost like the person that this message is for is changing, and there is an old version of themselves and a new version of themselves. Now, I don't know what the circumstances are, why there is an old version and a new version. Maybe this person is fighting an addiction to something like weed, alcohol, food, or porn. But the addiction would no longer resonate for this person. It's like they cured the real reason that they were trying to escape, numb, or suppress their feelings. Maybe some of you have worked on childhood traumas and actually healed things. Like maybe you grew up in a toxic home with an absent father or an absent mother, a narcissistic mother, a narcissistic father, where you weren't seen or heard. So you felt the need to escape when your emotions came up. Or maybe this person is going through a relationship recalibration. The past version of how they handled situations or people may not resonate with the new version of themselves and how they handle the exact same situations. Remember, you were in a baby caterpillar stage where you didn't realize the toxic situations you were in. Babies don't even know any better, but some sense of maturity has occurred and you realize you're not in the optimal environment for growth or around the most supportive people. The cocoon that embraces the caterpillar is a means of protection during this metamorphic process. The caterpillar needs the isolation in order to change, in order to recalibrate. Recalibration is to emerge as a changed person. Life is a collection of decisions. You go to the fridge to get a drink. Do you choose a Coke or do you choose a water? You always have a choice each time you go to the fridge. But God has noticed that in certain environments and around certain people, you cannot change. It's like the old you and the new you are in an inner civil war. Sometimes you make decisions that make the old version of yourself happy, and sometimes you make decisions that make the new version of yourself happy. You are feeding two masters, and neither can grow because the food that you feed them or the energy that you give them is being divided. It reminds me of a Bible verse, Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters. So God is calling you into a time of hibernation. Maybe it's a time to cut off social media usage and connect more to God. Maybe it's a time to learn how to be okay with being by yourself, how to embrace being the new version of you. Or maybe it's a time to discover how you are going to apply your gift to the world. Maybe a time to detoxify or cleanse yourself from the past in order to become the new version of you. If you were in a toxic relationship with a narcissistic partner, an unhealthy work condition, or you had an unstable childhood, and you are just getting free of these things, you will need time for recalibration. You cannot jump from one experience to the next without some time in between. You need to be able to release things you picked up in the relationship. This is something only isolation and solitude can bring. It allows you the pure focus on cleansing and purifying and releasing. Cleansing the old version of yourself to become the new. Just think about it. If God loved the caterpillar so much that he gave it a time to isolate, time to change into a beautiful creature, then how much more does God love you over the caterpillar? It's like in Genesis, we are made in God's image. He gave us dominion over the animals. So if he gave the caterpillar and bear time to isolate, then he will also give you time, my dear. Even Jesus isolated in the desert for 40 days. If God gave Jesus time to isolate to get ready for his ministry, then so shall he for you. And if you want to read up on this, you can turn to Matthew chapter 4, and it talks all about Jesus going into the desert and being isolated. So use this time wisely, my friend. Don't waste what has been given to you. This is an opportunity to morph into the version of you that has been on your heart. Maybe you want to start your own ministry, or maybe you want to start a mission. Whatever your calling is, this is the time to allow your root to grow deep and stable. And when you emerge, you will be a stronger, better version of yourself. Don't be like the seed that was on rocky ground in the parable of the sower. It could take no root. Now, remember, isolation does not automatically mean easy. The cocoon and the cave were dark. There will be spiritual warfare on the chosen ones. Jesus was alone in the desert, but the devil was constantly there tempting him, and he will also be there tempting you. There is no exception to this. But just know that saying no to the temptations over and over liberates you. Your root grounds deeper and deeper. And when you emerge, storms will no longer affect you or cause you to fall down like they had before. The butterfly comes out of the cocoon with new tools that the caterpillar could never even imagine. The butterfly has wings. It has a freedom that the caterpillar could never even think about. A caterpillar has never had wings. It had to struggle and crawl itself everywhere. It was heavy and dense. And now it's light and free as a butterfly. Two totally different versions of the exact same object. Thank you again for watching my video. I know that this message was not meant for everyone and that it will only resonate with a few of you. But if you were impacted by this message, don't hesitate to leave me a comment. I love hearing everyone's stories. Also consider sharing this message with others so that they may be encouraged in the message as well. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah.